Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a Shop My Stash, the first one of 2022. In January, I just like to kind of familiarize myself with all of my new items in my project pan intros, and I'm typically just very happy with that new selection of products. But as always, a goal of mine with my makeup collection throughout the year, in combination with project panning as much as I do, is rotating through my stash. So I'm very happy to be bringing this series back this year. I also hope you enjoyed the little sped up clip of me pulling the items out of my vanity. The items I'm going to share with you today. So I have structured my Shop My Stash as Chic Geek has done in the past, where I just pull a handful of items to complement the ones I have in project pans. I like to sit here and give you mini reviews or my thoughts on the products, and really I just want to use the items like 2 to 5 times while they're in my Shop My Stash, and I'm not always the best at updating you in the next episode on the exact items that I pulled, but I'm going to try really hard to be better about that. But that's enough rambling. I'm sure you know what a Shop My Stash is. I just wanted to fill you in on the format, on how I like to do this series. Voice still isn't great, as this is the first one from the year. So I have my little bin here of the products. I did add one more thing after doing the clip of pulling the items, which I will just start with. That is the Fenty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fenty Glow. This is on my lips right now, and I had been looking in my tracking spreadsheets when I put in the numbers, and I had used this quite a bit, and it's not in a project, so I'm ready to put it away. I pulled this out after getting the cream Fenty Glow in the Sephora Favorites kit, thinking I don't know if I'm going to like this, but I wanted to try the cream formula because I wasn't a fan of the original. My lip gloss taste has changed apparently, and I have found myself really enjoying these Fenty glosses, as well as the Pat McGrath gloss that I got in that same Favorites kit. These have a similar-ish formula, they're not that close. Bear with me. So I'm wearing this one today, and I used to not like how thick and balm-like it felt. I know this is Fenty. I know these are the Gloss Bombs B-O-M-B, and I'm talking about they feel balm-like, B-A-L-M, you know? And I used to not like thicker gloss formulas like this, but I do now. And this Pat McGrath one has more of a gel consistency. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but it is again on the thicker side, but not sticky, and it just glides on so smoothly, and they feel more nourishing on the lips and not as thin. I do like thinner formulas as well, and I like lip oils, which tend to feel a bit thinner, but I don't know. I enjoyed my time with these. I'm making this way longer than it needs to be. I had pulled in my ColourPop Pretty Fresh setting mist for a time just because my skin was feeling a little more dehydrated, and now my skin is just straight up dry. We are in the depths of cold winter, and this is not cutting it, so I'm going to be pulling a more luminous and nourishing type of setting spray just to help me out a little bit, because I'm panning a very matte dry foundation, and it's not a good time right now. But I really do like that setting spray. It's just not a dead of winter setting spray for me. A palette that I used the mattes in today. This is the Dominique Cosmetics Transitions palette. I've used this quite a number of times now. I have just been focusing on using most of the shades in here to get my review on this palette, and overall I really like it. The mattes blend really well. They're pigmented enough. These pans are massive because you can use it on your face as well, which I have not tried yet. I wanted to use some of these more mauve shades as blushes and try out some of the browns as like contours or bronzers, and I just didn't get around to that. But I really did enjoy the mattes, and I actually like having all matte palettes. I think they complement my like ColourPop Super Shock shadows, or they're really easy to pull into my Pan Those Eyeshadows shades, because in Pan Those Eyeshadows it's completely random, of course, and sometimes you just need like basic mattes to go with it. But I'm ready to put it back now because it's not in a project. And same with this one. This is the Natasha Denona Peak palette. I got this in BoxyCharm a while ago. I got both these palettes in BoxyCharm. I no longer subscribe to BoxyCharm, but I have a lot of products from that subscription. And this is the same amazing Natasha Denona formula. When I look at this, I just thought it would be like more basic warm neutral than it is. Like this orange here, Jasper, is quite intense. Like this definitely steers the look in a different direction than what I thought. It looks intense in the pan, but I thought like, oh, maybe with a light hand it will blend out. It does blend out, but it stays vibrant, which I like. It's just not really what I was expecting. And then I reached into Amhara a lot, this like rosy shade. I don't know, they're just really nice. I like that it's 4 mattes and 1 shimmer. Again, I kind of combined this with other palettes so it was less like one trick pony, if you will. And it does have a matte cream shade, which in a 5 pan like this isn't really my favorite, though I use a shade like that every day, so it's very useful. I liked this a lot. I've had my Pure 4-in-1 Tinted Moisturizer in to combine with that foundation I'm panning. That is 1, too dark, and 2, just too drying and heavy for this time of year for me. But it's in my deck of panning project to finish, so I'm really trying to like use it every day, even if I'm mixing it in with something like this. So this is a tinted moisturizer, like I said, in the shade LN2, which is too light for me. Actually, it might be like fine on its own for right now, but lately I have just been mixing the two together, and it thins out the formula of the ColourPop No Filter foundation that I'm working on, as well as lightens the color, and I really enjoyed that. But I've used it quite a bit, like for the last 2 weeks or so, doing it that way. And I have other really light foundations that I would like to like continue trying and mixing the ColourPop foundation with different things and see what works best. I have the Rare Beauty Liquid Highlight in the shade Mesmerize. I tried this in my Finally Trying Rare Beauty video and have continued to use it to get my full review. And I like the formula. No. I was gonna say I like the formula fine, but it's a combination of the formula and the color that just doesn't work that great for me. The shade's a bit dark for me in the winter. I am going to revisit this when I have a tan or if I fake tan. But also I just feel like the formula doesn't blend that well. I always seem to have kind of like harsh edges. So I did use this a few additional times underneath my foundation. And I definitely enjoyed it that way more, but I feel like I shouldn't have to do that. Like I should be able to top this on top of foundation if I want a little extra highlight. And with this formula, I just feel like it doesn't want to blend out that well on my skin. So this was a bit of a bummer. Speaking of Rare Beauty, this is actually an empty. I'm going to be pulling a new mascara. This is the Rare Beauty mascara, and I've used this every single day since filming that Finally Trying Rare Beauty video. And I mean, it looks like there's still a ton in here, but it is so dry, like tugging and pulling on my lashes as I'm trying to like put it on. And I'm not talking for like second and third coats, like just going in for the first time, it feels really dry and tuggy. And I've noticed the last 3 days I've worn this, I have little flecks of mascara under my eyes and it's just dry. This is just a mini. It's valued at 14 Canadian dollars, and I really did like it, but it only lasted a month and a half. Is that right? I mean, it is a mini, but let me know if you've tried the full size. Did the full size last 3-4 months? If it did, I would consider repurchasing in a full size eventually. I have other mascaras. I don't need to purchase one right now. But if the full size also dries out really fast, I wouldn't be interested. But it makes my eyelashes look great. So for that, I really liked this. I almost dropped that. I have in my Milani Baked Blush in the shade Berry Amore. This was gifted to me from Callie Fab, so thank you, Callie. I say that every time I show this product on my channel. This is a great winter blush. It's again what I'm wearing today, and I actually mixed this with 6 from Ofra Life's a Draft, Ofra and Samantha March's collaboration, and I really liked that combo. But berry and like mauve blushes are just what I'm reaching for right now in the winter months, and I used this quite a lot. And lastly, I have in the NYX Born to Glow Radiant Concealer. This was gifted to me from Look Fantastic in the summertime, and it was too light for me then, and so I just kind of, like, I used it in the video with Look Fantastic, and then it got kind of, you know, shoved away into a drawer. I love this. I know this is one of Angie's favorite concealers, or it is her favorite concealer, and I can totally see why. I have some texture and fine lines under my eyes as I'm getting older, and this just looked really lovely. It's not radiant like, oh, it's so shiny under my eyes or anything, because I do set it with powder just very lightly, but I didn't find it creased that bad. I don't like the little puff ball on here. Not that I feel like it's unsanitary, but it's less soft than like the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. So it looks like a puff ball, but it's still kind of hard to like get the concealer spread evenly under my eyes, I find, but whatever. I really like the formula on this, but I'm ready to pull in some more of my lighter concealers. I can't just stick with the same selection of products unless they're in project pans, because then, you know, all my makeup is going to go to rot. But those were the reviews on all of the products that I pulled out of my everyday makeup drawer. I really do hope to get back on track with this series for 2022 and filming it every 2 weeks and have it go up on Sundays. I really hope, if not on a Monday maybe. And I'm really excited to shop my stash. So let me stop rambling and let's go do that. All right, to pick products, I'm going to start in this drawer of my dresser. We just took the products from up here. This is kind of like my backlog, what's in projects, but not my current focus. I know first I need to pull this out because I'm going to film my Clean Your Pans update today. We already pulled out a bunch of those products that need to go downstairs as well, and I have been focusing on all of them except for this one in the weeks coming up to the update, so I'm ready for a break from them. These palettes are kind of in the order of when they were like pulled in, so like these are more Shop My Stash. These are Pan Those eyeshadows, whole collection. Trying to figure out what I need. So I recently hit 100 uses on a product, and my next focus for that project is my Modern Renaissance. So we're gonna pull this in. I also pulled out a lot of cheek products, and while I could pull some of them from here, I really do want to focus on the cheek products in the Ofra Life's a Draft palette. I will use the eyeshadows a little bit, but my main focus is on the blush, highlight, and bronzer, so I'll pull that in for cheek products. My next focus for Pan Those eyeshadows is my Jackie Aina palette, so we'll pull this out. I'm working on 2 shades in here for that project. What does that leave us with? I'm still focusing on this brow bone shade. Maybe another. My whole collection project pan update is coming up, And both of these palettes are in there and they're both slated for declutter. So which ones? I have a lot of like purpley tones. And so I think when I get bored of those, there are a lot of mauves in the Morphe Kathleen Lights, but I think I might get bored of that. So I'm going to pull in the Ace Beauté Grandiose palette. This is what that one looks like, and it will be great for February as well. Now how it works with the eyeshadows I pull is when I hit a goal or a pan, then I pull that one out and then I come back into here to pull in like the next palette, if that makes sense. So I think this will be good for the next 2 weeks, and then as I, like I just mentioned, as I hit goals on them, I will swap them out, but I don't film every time I swap my everyday makeup drawer. And honestly, I'm just not really feeling anything that's in here right now, and I think I want to pull some other things from my collection, so let's go do that now. I recently redid my makeup drawer shame again. That's now in an order of like owned the longest and haven't used, and these are things I got for Christmas, so it makes sense to me. I would like to pull in this Ofra lip in Pasadena. I have actually had this liquid lipstick before in their old packaging and really love it, and I think it will be great for this time of year. I do want to continue working through my samples. I've now included them in this array of products just so that they're more visible and I can get through them more. This is my oldest little foil sample I have left, so I did not enjoy the Hydro Grip primer when I tried it before, but I will give it another try. It was this size as well, and it took me 2 uses to use, so no big deal. Grab that. My Rare Beauty mascara had run out, so I need a new one, and I think this is the oldest, the ABH Lash Brag. I also have one from AOA Studios, but I think that's on the newer side, so I'm going to pull in this ABH mascara. My eyeshadows are not over here, but I'm still really focusing on my Project Pan eyeshadows for right now, and I don't really feel the urge to pull anything. All of my eyeshadows except for this one palette, which I still have not used and it's really old, so I have it like out right here to remind me, but I think that's all that I feel pulled to get from here right now. My eyeshadow collection has moved to this bookshelf, and all these are unused palettes. Yeah. But like I said, I'm focusing on my project ones. Right now, I'm still not bored of those. It's still pretty early in the year. So I'm going to skip over this for now. All right, I'm really trying to be smart and only pulling a couple of items. So up here in this top drawer, I know I want to pull in the Pixi Glow Mist. This is the perfect time of year for my skin type to pull in this type of product. And I'm going to replace the Pretty Fresh mist with this because I think it will be more glowy and nourishing than that one. I'm working on a primer pretty diligently right now. That's working really well. But I've been wanting to pull in this Fenty Pro Filter Instant Retouch primer. I actually have a full size of this, so I like to get some use out of that guy. And I want to retest out the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue Concealer I have in the shade 5 Fair. This was really drying on me before, but it's super fair, which I am right now, so I think the color will match me good right now. So I'm going to pull this in to test. I'm already pulling more than I planned, but that's how it goes. In here I have brow liner and foundation. I need a light foundation to mix with my ColourPop No Filter foundation. That's a bit dark for me right now. And when I was testing out the Urban Decay Hydromaniac, I was more tan and the colors was too light. So I have 20 Fair. I think this will be good for mixing and also just to refamiliarize myself with this and use it by itself sometimes too. You know what? I think that's all I'm going to pull for this week. Now let's put this stuff away. I just realized I didn't pull a powder, but after I film my Clear Your Pans update, I'll just pull this powder back in. And this I will just leave right here so that I use it in the next couple of days. I move it out of my inventory. So this is what my rotation looks like for this week. It looks a lot emptier because the cheek products I want to be using are in this palette instead of sitting right here. Like I mentioned earlier, as I meet goals on products, I just immediately swap them out and I will update you on them next time. And these are the eyeshadows I will be focusing on. I think 4 palettes is good for the week. And of course I have eyeshadows in here if I want to use them, but these are going to be my focus. Thank you guys so much for watching today's Shop My Stash. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!